This is Combate 14, presented by Combate Americas in association with Aspira Más. And it's all happening here at the Ventura County Fairgrounds in Ventura, California, USA. This event is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Commissioner in charge, John Curvelli, Executive Officer, Andy Foster, your event supervisor, Sean Wells, in charge of the time, Mike North. Your three judges scoring, sus tres jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and legendary judo Jean LaBelle. And your third man at the bell, el tercero en superficie, Frank Trigg. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black trunks with gray trim. His official weight 154.4 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con gris, con un peso oficial de 154.5 libras. As a professional, he stands with 3 victories against no defeats. Cuenta con un récord de 3 victorias por 0 derrotas. Hailing out of San Diego, California, James Poole. And his opponent across the cage is standing in the red corner, wearing white trunks with gray trim. His official weight 155.3 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con gris, con un peso oficial de 155.3 libras. Professionally, he stands undefeated with 5 victories against no losses. También cuenta con un récord invicto de 5 victorias por 0 derrotas. Hailing out of Long Beach, California, Joshua Jones. 3 rounds of MMA action in the lightweight division. 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en la división de peso ligero. And to give out the final instructions, here is Frank Trigg.
I got it, relax. Got your instructions in the locker room, gentlemen. Any questions? No. Obey my commands at all times, push sub at all times, come out swinging.
All right, so we are moments away between Joshua Jones and James Poe. And again, this will be contested at 155. It's slated for 3 5-minute rounds. And of course, the referee in charge of the chaos in the cage will be Frank Trigg. Poe in the black trunks, Joshua in the white tights. And we are underway.
Joshua always says that he likes to start off with ninja stuff. And after that, wherever the fight hits, he's extremely dangerous.
And we see him right off the bat, Juliana, just, again, sticking that jab out there with a left strike, backing up Poe momentarily.
Oh. Joshua Jones in the southpaw stance.
Always can be tricky as well.
I agree.
5-0 record, 9-7 is an AMI.
There's that ninja stuff, and both guys are slugging.
And you look right off the bat, too, Juliana, you see that Poe is trying to distance himself, use his height a little bit, too, but then you start to wonder, okay, when is Joshua Jones going to recognize that? And, as we see, try to go inside a little bit and try to get that first takedown and dump.
Yeah, nice takedown attempt by Joshua Jones. James is back to his feet, though. He's trying to lace in that hook there and try to use that hook to get him back down to the ground and drag him back down to the canvas. We'll see if he's successful with that.
Poe out of San Diego, California, 28 years of age, very smart fighter, wants to try to get this fight, as you alluded to, down to the ground. Put Jones in harm's way. As a fighter, you know, when someone says harm's way, it's basically just taking you in uncharted waters where you're not familiar.
Absolutely, and James is really familiar with ground fighting as well. He's reps 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu all day long. He's a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu.
Jones tried to go inside with that leg kick.
Nice. Nice elbow after that leg kick as well. And that's my favorite takedown right there. Double underhooks, bear hug takedown. It works like a charm.
You know, it's interesting, too, because when you talk about the scoring, this also bodes well for Poe and or Joshua Jones if it plays out, because it's always about that cage generalship, right? Aggression, cleanness of the takedowns. I mean, you can never, you know this, you never want to leave it up to the judges.
No, you never do, and it's kind of like in football. Whoever has the ball, whoever controls the ball wins, and that's kind of how it is in La Jaula as well. If you control your opponent and you're sucked tight to them and they can't do anything about it, that's viewed, in my opinion, as cage control and aggression. And as a judge, I'm looking for aggression. Who's sticking the fight to who, and who wants to be separated, and who's trying to inflict a lot of damage. Right now, I would say that is definitely Joshua Jones on top with the white shorts.
And Jones, one of his strengths too, Juliana, is that he's unpredictable. You know, he believes that's going to benefit him. Again, take it from a fighter perspective. When you are an unpredictable fighter, that can pose a lot of threats to your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. What's also interesting about Joshua Jones is that he is an engineer. He's a train engineer, and so he works a lot, actually, 12-hour days or 12-hour shifts, and all week long. He's been married for almost a year, and so it's interesting to figure out how is he training 2 times a day, working 12 hours a day, and then being married and being able to sustain all of that.
Yeah, he left college while he was studying business administration, and you mentioned 12-hour days. I mean, again, that is an absolute grind, so it's all about that balance. Now, he's coming off a solid win against Nick Vanderpool at CXF6. He wants to keep that momentum going, so it's always important. You get a win, then you get another win, then you get a couple more fights under your belt. Now you're on a winning streak. But early on in round number 1, you know, we haven't really seen too much of an ebb and flow during this fight, but you kind of like what Jones has been doing thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been able to now get into side control here, and the guy who's a 10th planet, jiu-jitsu black belt cannot regain guard, cannot get off of his back. He looks like a fish out of water here, and he's trying to do everything he can to regard his position, and he can't do it. Joshua Jones is doing a fantastic job with the side control, doing a great job of controlling his opponent, and as you see there, he finally took his back, and let's see if he can sink in a rear naked choke.
Late stages, round number 1, again slated for 3-3-5s, contested at 155. Joshua Jones having a solid first round, opening stages against James Poe. 2 very young fighters, not age-wise, but Jones comes in 5-0, Poe comes in 3-0.
Definitely. He's an undefeated fighter, and he says that, later on he wants to make it to the big time. He wants to be fighting in the UFC, the biggest, upper stages you can get to. But right now I think he's doing a great job representing for Combate Americas, and I think this is right where he needs to be.
And he's been pressing the action. I'm not going to say at fanatical pace, but again, he's been dictating the pace.
That was an amazing takedown, a nice backwards foot sweep. It was beautiful. I love it. That's one of the favorite takedowns that we do there at Sick Jitsu Fighting Systems in Spokane, Washington with my team. So that was beautiful. It got him right back down to the mat where he wanted to be. And it's so unexpected when you sweep out that leg right there because they have so much weight distributing, trying to stand up. So you kick that back leg out and he's right back down to the mat.
One in the books between Jones and Poe, and again, it'll be slated for 3 5-minute rounds at 155. Round number 2, again, Jones and Poe. Jones in the white trunks. Poe, the taller of the two, has a slight height advantage in the gray and black trunks.
His opponent was changed last second, and he said that he likes this matchup better for him, and that his weight camp and everything was already there, so he's ready to go. James Poe. Oh.
Yeah, and Jones actually checked his inside leg kick moments ago. Again, from a fighter standpoint, I think it's always tricky, though, if you have to take on that short-term opponent, that last-second replacement, especially if you don't have any film on it.
Yeah, exactly. The guys that don't have too much film on them are a lot dangerous, and as you can see, Joshua Jones has some heavy cinder block hands that he's working with, and Poe doesn't seem to like any of that. I will, to Poe's credit, say that he has a granite chin and has been able to take a lot of heavy shots from Joshua Jones.
And those heavy shots accumulated 3 knockouts in 5 fights. We just saw a left right there that connected.
I mean, he's hitting solid too. And he's starting to gain his confidence as the fight goes on.
And again, if you're Poe, you have to use that reach. I mean, at least get that stick out there a little bit, because you have to respect Jones's power. Good up kick too. That landed flush too, and a good counter left.
Yeah, but it made him mad, Joshua Jones. Now looking for the takedown is Poe, trying to close the distance. He's got some head position there and grinding that head position out. I like to see that. He's trying to go for his own leg sweep. He wants to take his back. Nice switcherooski from Joshua Jones. Yeah. Beautiful switch.
Use the cage too for a little leverage.
Absolutely. The cage is your friend. The cage is your amigo. La jaula is your amigo. Calling for a dogfight in the corner of James Poe. Nice front head draw from Joshua Jones.
Jones is he's coming with a game plan, and he's stuck to the game plan.
Absolutely. He's smothering this guy. He's wearing him like a blanket. And I have a feeling that the fight is, I mean, you got to keep moving here. This is not a resting position from James Poe, but he's so tired wearing the weight of Joshua Jones this entire time.
I also think it was some of those shots too up top that caught on that made him think a little bit. Look, you know this, right? You can rain down some haymakers. They might not be the most crisp or hardest shots. A cumulative effect, though.
Yeah, nice spiral ride by Joshua Jones there on the inside leg, a right leg of James Poe. He takes him back down to the mat again. It's like he's gonna just beat it out of him until he gets him.
It's not where James Poe wants to be.
Definitely not. And if I was James Poe, you know, obviously you're not going to catch a Kimura or you're going to catch a lucky submission. You got to get back to your feet, or you got to find a way to get on top and reverse your position because he's just getting pounded on.
And he's getting gassed having another opponent on top of him like that. And worst case scenario, he's also running out of time in round number 2. There's not a lot of margin of error.
Absolutely. The other thing that's really interesting is that it looks like he might be trying to set up a submission or something, but these guys are so slick and they're so sweaty. It's like trying to rein in a greasy pig. You know, it's dang near impossible.
You got the bright lights. It's not warm in the venue this evening, but you got the bright lights, you got the sweat, and maybe sometimes you got a little too much pressure as opposed to trying to deliver some up kicks. Nothing doing, though. Jones, again, just attacking him, trying to get good position, and he's raining down some less. And they're not scoring blows, but they are doing damage.
Oh, I definitely think that he's doing a great job. These are the fights that I like to see. The nice ground and pound, the repeated Donkey Kong punches in your face. It's hard to regain your guard. It's hard to regain your composure when this guy's just going ham on you. And those are the most dangerous fighters, where they're just going to keep pounding and pounding and pounding until it gives you until it gets them the stoppage and until it gets this guy to give up. And I'm going to beat it out of you until you give me your neck. And if you don't give me your neck, I'm just going to keep punching you in the face.
Late stages, round number 2, slated for 3. Again, Jones and Poe. Joshua Jones, really a strong round number 1. There was no ebb and flow in round number 2. There was a moment by Poe who tried to utilize some low kicks, but Joshua Jones has been aggressive, and this encapsulates the fight thus far.
Absolutely. There's a little over 30 seconds left in round 2, and I don't think it's going to go that much farther into round 3. I think
Frank Craig, the referee's watching the action closely, and we're going to get a, well, that's, you know what, that's a good stoppage.
That was a great stoppage.
It's a great stoppage.
Great stoppage by Frank Trigg.
Because Poe was in that position for the first 2 rounds, and I understand he's frustrated, he's shaking his head, but let's be honest, Joshua Jones came in with a game plan, and he stuck to the game plan.
Absolutely. Both these fellas are making their Combate America's debut. Put on a great fight for the opening fight for the night, or opening fight tonight. And those are the fights that I like to see, you know, just constant, wearing you down until I get you to quit.
And you mentioned Jones coming in with that 5-0 record, 3-0 with knockouts, add another knockout to his young resume. He had 16 fights as amateur. So, you know, cage experience is there. Not from the pro ranks, but again, this is a nice showing for him.
Yeah, he's well on his way. He is making a name for himself.
Was there anything particular, and we'll take a look at some of the action early on in this one, and we'll see the stoppage primarily as well.
Poe's going for a leg lock because he's trying to advance his position, but at this point, he's just so gassed. He has no juice to be able to leverage anything, and Joshua Jones just hammering down the fists and literally grinding him out into mashed potatoes up against La Jaula.
That's got to be frustrating, too, because we talk about a fighter getting their will broken, so to speak, but the fact is, any game plan that James Poe had coming in, it was thrown out the window the first 30 seconds of the fight.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys got these big, hungry dudes coming at you, and they see you, you know, if I get a finish here, I could potentially get $1,000 bonus if I finish you, and these guys
little
are
incentive, right?
Yeah. I mean, if the fight doesn't motivate you, let the money motivate you, you know?
Can't argue with that sentiment. All right, let's make this one official. We'll go inside the cage for the official time of the stoppage, back inside the Pablo Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official time of 4 minutes, 21 seconds. En the second round tenemos el tiempo oficial de 4 minutos, 21 segundos en el round número 2. Declaring your winner by the way of technical knockout. Su ganador por la vía del knockout técnico. From Long Beach, California, Joshua Jones. Damas y caballeros, estamos en vivo con nuestro combate coestelar de esta noche. 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en la división de peso gallo. Your 3 judges scoring, sus 3 jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Gene LaBelle. And your third man inside la jaula, el tercero en la superficie, Frank Trigg. Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black trunks with gray and yellow. His official weight 135.8 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con gris y amarillo, con un peso oficial de 135.8 libras. Professionally, he stands with 12 victories against 2 losses. Presenta un récord de 12 victorias por 2 derrotas. Hailing out of Mankato, Minnesota, John Sexy Mexi Castañeda. And his opponent across la jaula in the red corner, wearing black trunks with red trim. His official weight 135.3 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con rojo, con un peso de 135.3 libras. Professionally, he stands with 10 victories against 4 losses. Presenta un récord de 10 victorias por 4 derrotas. The hometown kid from Ventura, California, USA. The real deal, Chris Beal. And to give out the final instructions, para dar las instrucciones finales, aquí está Frank Trigg.
Got your instructions in the locker room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. You want to touch gloves, do it now. Back to your corners, come out swinging.
And we are moments away from what should be an explosive bout slated for 3 5s. Castañeda taking on Beal. John in the gray and black trunks, and Chris Beal in the blue and red trunks. And again, this is slated for 3 5s, and the man in charge of the chaos inside the hala is referee Frank Trigg and Juliana Pena. It's pretty simple for the Sexy Mexi. If he loses, have a long bus ride home on Greyhound, which is about 30 hours. If you win, you can still hang around Combate Americas one more fight, possibly, and you get a nice flight home.
Yeah, absolutely. Campbell McLaren's made it extremely clear that this is John Castañeda's last opportunity with Combate Americas. He didn't make weight on championship fight. He wouldn't fight a rematch against Gustavo Lopez, and he wouldn't take the fights that the company and promotion wanted him to take. So Campbell said, listen, if you don't win here tonight, I'm ripping up your flight. I'm sending you home on a Greyhound, and you're done. You're gone. And he means business.
And I told you, I calculated the miles. It's about a 30-hour drive on a Greyhound bus. Cold, nasty. At least on a flight, you can get a meal and watch a movie. Oh. So talk about it. He's got to be all in, and he's trying to be all in early on in this one.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I rode the plane over here from Chicago to LAX with John Castañeda, and I've also made the drive from the west side to Chicago, and it was a 30-plus hour ride. So riding on a Greyhound bus would literally be the worst thing ever. I've done that drive. I don't wish it upon anyone, and it would be a long ride, especially on a Greyhound. You can guarantee it'd be a lot more than 30 hours.
And you saw a couple times Castañeda actually switched southpaw orthodox. 12-2 with 5 knockouts, 25 years of age. As for Beal, 10-4, a little more self-spoken. Of course, the former contestant at Tough 18, trying to be the aggressor early on.
Yeah, what's interesting about these guys is they're exactly the same height, they're exactly the same weight, they're exactly the same reach. They're exactly the same age. They have both of them 14 fights apiece. Literally, their stats are identical. They match up identically. And like you said, Chris Beal is a former contestant on The Ultimate Fighter Season 18. He actually lived in the house with me on The Ultimate Fighter and was on Ronda's team.
Well, he wants to make a statement tonight. When we spoke to both these fighters, respectively, in the fighter meetings, John kind of came out a little more confident. I don't want to say soft-spoken, but understands that you know, he has to have a good showing, but yet I got the feeling he wasn't putting a lot of pressure on himself during this fight. When you look at Beal, listen, at the end of the day, Juliana, he's had 4 fights in a row, which he lost. I don't care what level you're on. If you have a 4-fight losing streak, you have to be hungry for a win.
Yeah, definitely. He's on a 4-fight loss skid, and he's here to try to prove why he belongs in the Jaula. And for me, you know, you got to wonder what that does to your mental psyche. When you're on 4-fight losing streak, how are you going to perform in your next fight? You know, he seems to have dropped him, and he was happy with that. He's got some big, heavy punches. I know that he's a more of a stand-up fighter, if anything, and he's a very big striker, and that's what he's more comfortable with. So he's got some nice, heavy punches, and I think that he's looking for a one-shot knockout against John Castañeda.
And you got to see if Castañeda drops his hands and gets a little lax with that defense. You mentioned Beal, 10-4, 3 knockouts. He's a grinder as well. 7 of the fights will go to decision.
Yeah, he is a grinder, and he's a big athletic guy, you know, so he's got a lot of power, and I know that he's always looking for the knockout. He says his best punch is whatever one hits him, whatever lands is what I meant to say.
But be that as it may, when you are a fighter and you're always looking for the knockout, sometimes you have to be patient, because when you least expect it, that's when the opportunity might pose itself. But I would tell you, I would suggest too, early on too, start to get a little more of those low kicks, maybe mix in a little more Thai, some of those keep kicks, because you have to keep Castañeda at bay a little bit. He's got to start respecting Chris Beal's power early on.
Yeah, absolutely. Sexy Mexi's been dropped twice so far and been caught by Chris Beal's big power punches. So he needs to definitely be wary of that and be very smart about how he's coming in on the inside.
Under a minute to go, round number 1. Beal really picked up the pace in round number 1 and caught John several times throughout. You see, he's just trying to stick that left there, just being lazy with it, try to possibly bait John in.
Yeah, Chris Beal seems very relaxed. He seems...
Oh, good combination, Juliana.
Yeah, big, huge, heavy punches by him. That shook John a bit.
And you saw that he mixed it up with those low leg kicks as well. Good takedown. Now he's got Castañeda in trouble. Oh, Beal tried to ray down a couple haymakers.
And John stands up early. I like it. Nice big power double right down the center from Chris Beal, and the crowd went crazy for it. He definitely has a crowd on his side. He's from Ventura, and this is his hometown. He's the local boy around here.
So we close in on one of the books between Beal and Castañeda. And I think John actually felt the brunt of it in round number 1, because you saw Beal was very aggressive. I think it's the fact too, Juliana, that he came in on a 4-fight losing streak, and you brought up an excellent point. Sometimes when you come on that 4-fight losing streak, you have to will yourself to have a good round, and we'll see here that he was trying to be the aggressor.
Absolutely. John was content with, you know, throwing a little bit of lackadaisical punches, and Chris Beal has big, huge, powerful punches that was backing Sexy Mexi up the entire time, making him shake his head. Yeah, he shakes his head no, but it definitely hurt him. Nice, beautiful double that just slammed him to the canvas.
We get set for round number 2 again, slated for 3 5s, contested at 135. Chris Beal, 10-4. Red and black trunks, 3 knockouts, 7 decisions. 25-year-old. What's interesting too is that he worked more on his strength and conditioning. He had 2 days alongside his stablemate, Joe Henle, who's from Knuckleheads Boxing. He's on the card this evening as well. He said that benefited him because they were able to push each other more.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys have been longtime friends. I actually met Joe right before I went into the house on The Ultimate Fighter. Great guy, great person, loves to fight, and that clipped John Castañeda there.
Chris Beal's starting to throw with bad intentions too. He's looking to end this fight.
Absolutely. He's finding his punches. He's being very selective. John Castañeda wants nothing to do with it anymore. Trying to tie him up and get a takedown if he can. Ooh, nice big heavy leg kick to the face, and it worked.
Beal's hurt. Beal's hurt. Oh my goodness! Castañeda now turning the tide. He doesn't want to have to go home on a bus. We'll see him try. Oh, he lives to fight another day in Combate's America. Oh my goodness, as he says, quiet down everyone, I'm taking a flight back home to Minnesota.
And Frank Trigg is trying to hold back Chris Beal. He's pissed off about that stoppage. He doesn't like that at all. There's Sexy Mexi regaining his spot in the Combate America's roster. He's stoked, and he's not going home on a Greyhound bus.
He came out in round number 2. I have no idea what his corner told him, but it's as though he knew he had to take a shot Forget about going in and shooting. That failed, but that hurt Chris Beal right there.
It was a perfect left leg kick to Chris Beal that rocked his freaking world.
You saw the head snap back, too.
His head snap back and several other bludgeoning punches that freaking put him out of his element. Yeah, he wasn't able to regain his guard. He wasn't able to suck John into him. And John had some big, heavy punches and just said, I'm sick of this kid, and just let it rain.
That's a great stoppage by Trigg. You might disagree. I thought it was a good stoppage because I think Beal was hurt when he got caught with the left. Right there with the knee, then the left and the right. His head snaps back on a straight right as well. You'll see it, boom, right there. Great shot.
Little bit of a flash knockout. You got to be able to regain yourself as fast as possible.
Well, we will make this one official. Unbelievable finish by John Castañeda. He does not have to worry about going home on a bus. We'll throw it up to Pablo Flores for the official time of the stoppage.
I'm waiting for this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official time of 42 seconds in round number 2. Tenemos el tiempo oficial de 42 segundos en el round número 2. Declarando su ganador por la vía del knockout técnico. Your winner, by the way, of technical knockout from Mankato, Minnesota. Sexy Mexi, John Castañeda.
We welcome you back inside the historic San Miguel Hall in the Ventura County Fairgrounds, Ventura, California. This is Combate Americas 14 as we get set for our main event of the evening. Jose Estrada taking on Emilio Chavez alongside Juliana Pena. I'm Rich Quinones calling the action cage side as we take a look at the tail of the tape. This should be a good one, contested at 155.
Yeah, as you can see, the numbers that jump out at me is Emilio Chavez is 11-9, while Jose Estrada is 3-0. He's also 5 years younger. He's got a 2-inch reach disadvantage, Froggy Jose Estrada, and a 4-inch height reach disadvantage as well. Let's see if Emilio can use his length in order to gain him the victory tonight.
Making
All right,
his
let's
way
go inside
to
to
the
the
jaula in the blue corner, the ferocious Aztec, Emilio Chavez. Making his way to La Jaula in the red corner, Jose Froggy Estrada. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Set for 3 rounds of MMA action in the Combate Americas lightweight division. Damas y caballeros, este es su combate estelar de esta noche. Pactado a 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en la división de peso ligero. Your 3 judges scoring, sus 3 jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Jean LaBelle. Y el tercero en la superficie dentro de la jaula, your third man inside la jaula, Michael Bell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and millions watching around the world on Azteca America, we are live from the Ventura County Fairgrounds in Ventura, California, USA. Ajusten sus cinturones. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing gray trunks with white and yellow. His official weight 155.6 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo color gris con amarillo y blanco, con un peso de 155.6 libras. Professionally, he stands with 11 victories against 9 losses. Presenta un récord de 11 victorias por 9 derrotas. Representing Fullerton, California, the ferocious Aztec, Emilio Chavez. And his opponent across la jaula, standing in the red corner, wearing red trunks with gray and black. His official weight 155.2 pounds. Y su rival de la jaula en la esquina roja, vistiendo calzoncillo rojo con gris y negro, con un peso oficial de 155.2 libras. Professionally, he stands undefeated with 3 victories against no losses. Presenta un récord invicto de 3 victorias por 0 derrotas. Representando la ciudad de Oxnard, California. From Oxnard, California, USA. Make some noise for Jose, the Froggy. Estrada. Y para dar las instrucciones finales, the final instructions with Michael Bell.
All right, gentlemen, you got your instructions backstage. Defend yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Back to your corners.
And here we go, much anticipated main event for Combate Americas 14. It'll be contested at 155. Jose Froggy Estrada taking on Emilio, the ferocious Aztec Chavez. We'll get into the particulars of this one, but I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting. Mike Bell in charge of the chaos in La Hala.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight. This is Froggy's 4th fight with Combate Americas, and his whole entire game, his entire life, has been fighting guys that are massively bigger than him, and he's been able to find a way to win.
Well, he's in trouble early on. And
yes,
again, Chavez in the gray trunks, Froggy in some discomfort right now in the red trunks. We talked early on, the storyline all week has been, can he rise to the challenge, selling so many tickets and a new girlfriend, a new life, balance, family, friends at this great arena in Ventura, California. Are the bright lights going to be are they going to shine too much on this young fighter?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this whole entire place, if you guys can hear the outside people yelling, this entire place is on their feet. Every single seat is sold out. The whole entire crowd is here for Froggy because this is where he's from. This is his hometown.
Oh, he's in trouble.
And Emilio has a full body triangle on Froggy. Froggy needs to break that triangle in order to get back to his feet, but this guy's doing a great job of keeping his hooks in. He's using his length very, very well, stretching Froggy out, but Froggy is continuously moving, and there's a tight rear naked choke.
We might get a tap out. We might get a tap out. We might get a tap out. Chavez might pull it off.
It's over.
He said Froggy hasn't fought anyone until he's fought me. Mike Bell watching the action, and that's it. Oh my goodness gracious. Combates America, mi amigos. Are you kidding me with that? That is a shocking, shocking way to go out. That fast. And Chavez just playing to the crowd, trying to silence them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end officially at 1 minute 29 seconds in the very first round. Tenemos el tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 29 segundos en el primer asalto. Declarándose ganador por la vía de la sumisión por una mataleón. Declaring your winner by the way of submission due to a rear naked choke. De Fullerton, California, el azteca feroz de Ferocious Aztec, Emilio Chavez. And making his way to La Jaula in the rated corner, Heinrich, Ricky Scraps, Wasssmer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for 3 rounds of MMA action in the Combate Americas Flyweight Division. 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en la división de peso mosca. Your 3 judges scoring. Sus 3 jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Jean DeBell. And your 3rd man inside la jaula, el tercero en la superficie de la jaula, Frank Trey. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black, gray, and white. His official weight 125.7 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con gris y blanco, con un peso de 125.7 libras. Professionally, he stands with 8 victories against 5 losses. Presenta un récord de 8 victorias por 5 derrotas. Representing Boise, Idaho, Freddie, Little Man Arteaga. And his opponent across la jaula in the red corner, wearing blue with black and gray. His official weight 125.9 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina contraria, la esquina roja, vistiendo calzoncillo color azul con negro y gris, con un peso de 125.9 libras. As a professional, he stands with 5 victories against 1 loss. Presenta un récord de 5 victorias por 1 derrota. Hailing out of LA, California, USA, Heinrich, Ricky Straps, Wasssmer. And to give out the final instructions, las instrucciones finales por Frank Trey.
Let's ready the camera, guys. Got your instructions in the locker room. You know the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. You want to touch gloves, do it now. Back to your corners, come out swinging.
All right, so it'll be Wasssmer in the blue trunks taking on Arteaga in the black, gray, and white. It'll be contested at 125. The referee in charge of the chaos in La Jaula is Frank Trey. This has the makings for another good fight, Juliana, because at 125, you know they're going to let their hands go, and you certainly know they're going to come in shape.
Yeah, absolutely. Freddie said, I don't want you guys to be confused about my record. My losses are to tough guys, and I always end up knocking opponents out at 125 pounds. This is a weight class that I feel comfortable at. I feel more comfortable at it. And every time I fought at 125, I've ended up knocking them out cold. So he's excited to be getting another chance in La Jaula to be fighting and wants to make up for his last fight that he did not fare so well in.
And you brought up a great point. Records are certainly deceiving when it comes to combat sports, and he's got a boxing background as well. So you'll see he'll try to utilize that stand-up game a little bit. Out of those 12 professional fights, 5 have come via knockout. So he's got some heavy hands for someone who weighs 125, especially flyweight division. It's a rarity at times.
Absolutely. He also teaches boxing at his gym, SBG, which is an associate gym with SBG in Ireland. He trains out of Boise, Idaho. And he comes from a fighting family. His sister is also a fighter. She fights for Bellator. Her name is Vida Arteaga. And she's an amazing fighter as well.
Yep, flyweight. You see right away, too, that Freddie was letting his hands go, and that's what Heinrich has to do. You have to either come in and shoot and just nullify that.
That's an amazing angle. I wish he could have got that other hand in to sneak in that guillotine, because he had his head the entire. Oh man, it's so frustrating for me. Little ground and pound by Heinrich. Wasssmer on top with the blue Hayabusa shorts, and looks like he's going to try to get some ground and pound off. But Freddie's doing a good job of sucking him in close and trying to work in and off his back, try to flip up a submission if he can. There's his sister Vida in the corner instructing him.
Amazing, because so many of these fighters have these backstories, and you have siblings right there, so you got the pedigree. I'm sure they push each other, they train a lot together, so they're probably trying to one-up each other as well. So that's something that you can use as motivation.
Definitely. I don't know about the one-upping each other, but I definitely know that their family is what definitely gives them motivation to continue to push forward and to do their best that they can. And there's that submission or kick out of the leg again. That you just saw. Wasssmer did that to Freddie Arteaga and was able to get him trapped on the mat, and now he has a figure 4 triangle lock, and he's trying to look for a submission rear naked choke there. That's not underneath the chin. That one is, though.
That's locked in.
Oh, nope, and he's still hand fighting, which I love. Freddie really needs to break that figure 4 triangle on the side that it's caught under. Now Wasssmer going for an armbar there. Nice, beautiful, slicky, tricky transition there for an armbar. But Freddie's wise to the game and gets back to his feet.
And he lived up to his nickname, the little man, just slipping and being slick.
Absolutely.
Needs to fight upright.
His aunt gave him that nickname, and it stuck his whole life.
Under 2 to go. This opening round slated for 3. Contested at 125.
Freddie with moving, nice head movement. He really wants to knock him out. I know Freddie personally, and I know that he's always looking for a knockout.
And the one thing interesting about Heinrich is that he's learned to be more of a patient fighter, but he also understands repetition in the gym, repetition in practice. It usually translates to success.
Yeah, his best friend actually and roommate had to beg him to come into the gym and was trying to get him to start MMA. And he kept refusing and he wouldn't do it. And so finally he said, okay, fine, just get this nagging flea off my back. So he went into the gym, fell in love, and he's the first one there and the last one to leave. He trains all the time. And he also has a little daughter that he says is his main motivation. Nice front head draw, nice transition to the back. He's looking to sink a hook in, and he's got it. Taking the back of Freddie. Again, looking for a rear naked choke. Got that nice figure 4. 90% of the rear naked choke is dependent on the legs in the figure 4, or whether you got your hooks in and stretching the legs. It really expands and opens up that backbone and elongates your back so that your chin is available to be choked. And so it's really important to be using those legs. Since you have it trapped in that figure 4, you should be trying to, at the right time, apply the right leg pressure so that the back opens up and you'll be able to get underneath that chin and sink that rear naked choke in.
More susceptible. Your opponent's more susceptible when there's openings there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he definitely has that opening. He's got that figure 4, and he's going again for the armbar transition.
I think really for maybe the first 15 seconds of the fight.
He's got him in a inverted triangle. He's got that. Here comes the armbar attempt.
Well, let's see if Freddie can get it out of
Freddie is in trouble. Definitely in trouble is Freddie. And thank God that the Saved by the Bell.
And you have to wonder too, Juliana, when you've got one of the books like this and already you start to see Freddie, I'm not going to say he's tired, he's not spent, he's not exhausted, but when you start to huff a puff a little bit, maybe that gives you a little bit too much time to start thinking, okay, game plan A didn't work. Maybe I have to now switch it up to game plan B. So if you're in his corner right now, what are you telling him?
I'm telling this guy, I need you to find a way to win. Here comes that leg sweep kick out. On the replay here, he tries to go for a rear naked choke, but Freddie's wise to the game, so then he's going to try to switch hands and get the rear naked choke with the other hand. Here he sneakily gets that hook in, takes the back. He's trying really hard to get that rear naked choke, locks in the figure 4 triangle, body triangle, and starts letting it rain with some punches. But yeah, to me, I would tell his corner, you know, find a way to win, dude. You lost that round for sure. I need you to transition. What you were doing in round 1 wasn't working. You got to find a way to win.
And it's not like Heinrich has a monumental height advantage. He's got 1 inch over Freddie. 5'5", respectively 5'4", as we start round number 2 slated for 3 at 125.
He is 7 years younger, though, so sometimes I think that this is a young man's sport. Nice punch by Freddie, but he's kind of shying away there, yep. You got to be,
good uppercut.
Nice, beautiful uppercut.
And the boxing skills, upright game starting to take over 30 seconds in round number 2. Maybe he figured he's got to keep the fight upright.
Yeah, he said he was expecting a war, and this definitely has been so far. Trying to catch the leg. I don't like that, you know. I don't like acknowledging leg kicks like that, like trying to catch it like that. No,
you're susceptible.
Right there. No, when you acknowledge a leg kick is when you get in danger. For me, I'd rather eat the leg kick and punch you in the face right down the clown's mouth, right down the center, and make you pay for trying to leg kick me. And that was the way I was trained, and that's the way I think that it should go. This is a beautiful deep guillotine that Heinrich's working. It doesn't work. Freddie rolls to his side and gets out of it, and it looks like Heinrich might be going in for a Darce choke there. Definitely has got the baseball 3/4 stack inside on the back of Freddie's head.
He works some knees in too.
Freddie needs to seriously get off of his side and get to his knees. He needs to get his elbow back and get to his knees. get your elbow back. He needs to be in more of a bulldog position. Nice flank there by Freddie Arteaga, but it doesn't work. He needed to flank more in order to not get his back taken.
How much energy is he expending right now?
A ton. You're riding the weight of this guy who's, you know, doing everything he can to keep you down and implement his own strength on you. So it's extremely tiring, more for the guy who's losing than it is for the guy who's winning. And there again, you see the body figure 4 triangle by Heinrich Wasssmer.
And more importantly, when you're on the ground like that, the judges also see that you haven't gotten position, you're losing the round as well. Absolutely.
You know, if you can't advance your position, if you can't get a transition to make sure that you're on top now, then the judges are obviously going to see that you're, you know, now losing the better half of round 2 as well.
Yeah,
if it goes all 3, but I don't think it will.
I saw for a moment, I thought Wasssmer was trying to get in the armbar. That's one of his signature moves. But you can see right now, Freddie looks absolutely spent.
He looks spent, and he looks like he's like almost like out a little bit, like just kind of out of. He doesn't seem to kind of be aware of his positions. That's a nice little choke there. He's going for it. The most important thing that I think that I can say is you have to know where to break the figure 4 triangle. You're not going to get out or do anything until you break that body figure 4 triangle. And he is on the complete wrong side of this figure 4 triangle. He needs to break that foot off there that you see up top on the opposite side and then get both shoulder blades to the mat and turn into his opponent.
He's not getting the momentum that he needs from his torque or his legs. And furthermore, you go back to his facial expressions and his demeanor. Not only is he spent, you mentioned that he's not the wherewithal to know exactly where he is at this present moment. It's almost as though he's laboring through this last minute or so.
Yeah, he's just kind of like closing his eyes, and I know it kind of looks. It's a waste of time for me, in my opinion, when you got somebody that has a figure 4 triangle locked on you, and you're elbowing them in the thigh. Like, that's not going to get them to stop. That's not going to help you in any way, and you're not going to get out of your position by elbowing them in the thigh. You got to break that figure 4 triangle. Luckily, Heinrich Wasssmer opened up the figure 4 triangle and was now, Freddie was able to get out of that.
Right, and get in the full guard.
And this is beautiful. I love seeing this. This is the transition that I was talking about. This is what I was talking about, Freddie finding a way to win. Now that he took his licks, it's time for him to give his own licks. And this is also something that the judges play into, you know, their scoring. This guy's coming back. He's finding a way to win, and now he's going to dominate and get his own licks off.
Is it enough, though, to win round number 2, though?
It depends on how...
they're scoring.
Yeah, that was a nice Kimura attempt. Heinrich is wise enough to finish and spin with him, and he doesn't quite have it there. Nice transitions, beautiful transitions. There's nothing there as far as submission goes for Freddie, but it's a nice try, and Heinrich winds back up on top.
I think more importantly, if he arrives round number 2 and he's got 20 seconds to go, he's overcome adversity in round number 2, and that at least gives him a puncher's chance, if you will, in round number 3.
Absolutely. I didn't think that we would be making it to round 3. Nice, nice. Oh, man, I wish. Oh, dang it. Only if he could have sunk in that triangle a little bit more, maybe that would have gave him the advantage in the round and winning, but unfortunately his transition on top did not last that long, and Heinrich was able to get the transition back on top, get the reversal, and we are on our way to round 3.
You know, you look at that round like you alluded to as far as the scoring. I mean, again, I would have to give that round to Wasssmer, but you look at the last minute of that round, maybe something in Arteaga's corner, maybe they saw something they can try to exploit in round number 3, because it could also be, at the end of the day, it could also be an example of, is your opponent going to give you something to work with? I think Wasssmer knows he's ahead on the scorecards.
He definitely does. He's two rounds to 1 right now, in my opinion, and I think right now he's kind of in a coasting type of situation where his only job is to either get the finish or just keep coasting through the fight, because he's already won 2 rounds.
And you would suspect, too, if he gets Freddie back down on the ground again, now you're talking about buying some time, chewing up clock, if you will, making it pretty easy on the judges.
Yeah, absolutely. Freddie really needs to knock him out here or definitely get a submission win.
Well, if anything, you see those boxing skills take over, and maybe he does go for broke and lets that right go a little bit. One of his signature shots as well. And you can tell right off the bat he switched a little bit orthodox to southpaw, now back conventional, and he was looking for it.
He definitely is. He's definitely looking for a knockout. We need him to quit acknowledging it.
Good knee.
Beautiful knee. There you go, Freddie.
Good body shot,
nice
too.
Body shot. And Heinrich looking to suck in on that leg and look for the takedown. He's going for a single leg there, but his head's in a terrible position. Nice sprawl. Come on, Freddie, get that rear naked choke. Or excuse me, guillotine. I don't know. Oh, that's deep. That's deep. Hit that hip, Freddie. Hit that hip. Hit that hip, dog. Hit your hip. Use your legs. Oh, he's out of there. Heinrich is now in full mount. Let me see if he's in full mount. I think his leg might be caught, but he can use the cage to advance
momentum.
his position.
Yep.
He's almost got full mount. Oh man!
That's a great
all that work, you know, that is like mentally draining. You do all that work to get on top. You're finally in full mount, and then you get rolled off of a blow of a feather. It sucks to be in that position. It sucks because you finally got him. You finally hit him where you needed to hit him, and then he freaking gets back to his feet.
To Arteaga's credit, though, he's still fighting. He's showing a lot of heart in there. The problem is, I think every time he gets the fight down to the ground, right away he loses position quickly. Now, when he was upright, he was able to land a couple punches. And to your point, you mentioned Wasssmer going with either the T kicks or the inside leg kicks. If they do get caught, his guard's down because he's got to grab onto the leg.
Yeah,
now you're going against a fighter that has heavy hands. Good counter, straight right, you can get knocked out in one punch. Now, we'll see how it plays out with the last 3 minutes, but...
Definitely. Freddie's in a great position here right now. He's got a deep Kimura, and I know that he's very physically strong. Now he's in... He was in a front head draw position, and now he got his back taken with that leg right in. And Heinrich is... a lot of his wins have come by submission. He said that most of his wins have come by submission and that he beats it out of him until he gets the submission. And that's exactly crucifix position here for Heinrich is what he's working on. And Freddie is absolutely gassed. You can see how tired he is. His arm is caught. And this is not a good position for Freddie to be in as Heinrich is looking to also Kimura him as well.
And Heinrich looking for his 5th submission if it were to go down in the books of that. If he can pull it off. 5-1, as you mentioned, has come in with 4 submissions. Not a lot of knockout power. It doesn't need it, though. You're seeing that wrestling background. You're seeing the jiu-jitsu. It's starting to take shape.
It's starting to look like UFC 1 where that one guy gets stuck in that crucifix and gets all those elbows till he gets knocked out. But Freddie did a beautiful job transitioning back to his feet, trying to take top position. And there he is back on top. Freddie with the nice, beautiful scrambles and finding a way to try to win this fight at all costs possible. He wants to knock him out. I know he does.
He's going to start raining down some haymakers. He had a couple opportunities, too, there. Open guard with those elbows to the gut. Didn't take advantage of it. And you do have to wonder, you're talking about a 33-year-old fighter as opposed to a 26-year-old fighter.
Absolutely. I would like to see a little bit more shoulder pressure by Freddie to make that chin turn by Wasssmer and be able to maybe pass back into full mount again. But Heinrich is so good with his transitions. He's going for the single leg, but Freddie is wise of the game and stands back to his feet, and these guys are going to be duking it out again.
I got a sneaky suspicion Freddie's going for broke here.
Freddie needs to be going for broke here. Heinrich trying to mix it up and just throw him off with some...
Switching, yep, and his stances as well. See, there was a mistake right there.
Absolutely. He got a little too overzealous and punched to the body and then slipped on the way in.
And I think sometimes when you're changing stances, orthodox southpaw, you're not trying to confuse your opponent. Maybe you're trying to do something because you're confused.
Yeah, well, I always like to say if you confuse your opponent because you don't know what you're doing, what makes them think that they know what you're doing, you
that's
know?
A fair
so
point.
Keep mixing
that's
it up.
Right, that's right, that's right.
Keep mixing it up.
It could be a wash.
Yeah. There he goes again for a triangle attempt. Freddie needs to get back to his feet. He's got to knock this guy out. Nice ground and pound. Nice big overhands from Heinrich Wasssmer. And Freddie is not out or down for the count. He is trying to punch at all costs.
Problem is, I have him unofficially. I have him. He's lost the first 2 rounds. He's got 20 seconds to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, absolutely. A little over 10 seconds left to go here in the 3rd and final round, and Heinrich has found a way to wind back up on top and be in a position that solidifies a win, in my opinion.
I think so. I think going away, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And it probably had to be frustrating for Arteaga because he came in with a certain game plan, and they say, right, as soon as you get punched, you throw the game plan out the window, but he really could never get in a flow in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. They do say that a lot. They say, you know, everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the face, and it couldn't be truer. Freddie kind of never found his rhythm. He couldn't get off anything, and I think that, you know, sometimes you gotta, like I said, find a way to win, and I don't necessarily think that he did enough, but Freddie is very game, and he always brings an outstanding fight, and I think that he did very well. Both fighters did extremely well.
He mentioned his record's deceiving. Most records are at times pretty solid amateur career as well, 7-3. We believe he's going to fall and have his 6th pro loss, but the bottom line is he's a grinder. So if anything, conversely, if you look at Wasssmer walks away and says, well, I got a tough opponent, and more importantly, I got some rounds in.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that when you go to those rounds, you really see what you're made of, you know, and you got to know, can I go 2 more rounds after this? Am I going to be able to go to a championship fight? These are questions that you got to ask yourself, and you're never going to know that until you actually finally go the distance and get those rounds in.
As you said before at the onset of this broadcast, sometimes you learn a lot more from a loss than you do from a win.
Absolutely. I think that everybody has to lose sometimes, and if you're not losing, you're not fighting the right people. And, you know, everyone's going to take a loss eventually, but it's what you do after that loss that is going to make or break you.
All right, let's make it official. We'll go back inside the cage to our...
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has gone the distance of 3 rounds, and now we go to the judges' scorecards. Después de 3 rounds de combate, nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. Judge, el juez Gene Beal has scored the bout 30-27. Both judges, Chris Crail and Ron McCarthy, had the same scores of 30-26. Ambos jueces coinciden en tarjetas 30-26. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, Ricky Scraps, Heinrich Wasssmer. This bout is set for 3 rounds of MMA action in the Combate Americas 180 pounds catch weight. 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en un peso pactado de 180 libras. Your 3 judges scoring, sus 3 jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Gene Beal. And your 3rd man inside la jaula, el tercero en la superficie de la jaula, Frank Trigg. Introducing to your first 2 fighters standing in the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with gray and black. He's official weight 176.8 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo color azul con plata y negro, con un peso de 176.8 libras. As a professional, he stands with 1 victory against 1 loss. Presenta un récord de 1 victoria por 1 derrota. Representing LA, California, Hakop, Ter-Petrosyan. And his opponent across the cage in La Jaula, standing in the red corner, wearing gray with blue and white. His official weight 180.4 pounds. Y su rival dentro de la jaula en la esquina roja, vistiendo calzoncillo gris con azul y blanco, con un peso de 180.4 libras. Professionally, he stands with 1 victory against 1 loss. Presenta un récord de 1 victoria por 1 derrota. Hailing out of San Diego, California, USA, Emilio, el pingüino Williams. And to give out the final instructions, para las instrucciones finales, el referee, Frank Trigg.
Transfer to the cameras. You got your instructions in the locker room, gentlemen. Any questions? Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. You want to touch gloves, do it now. Back to your corners, come out swinging.
All right, so this one will be contested at 180 is the catch weight. Emilio Williams taking on Hakop, Ter-Petrosyan, Frank Trigg in charge of the chaos in La Jaula. Rich Quinones, Juliana Pena, ringside, cage side. We are ready to go. It's been a great night of MMA action, spotlighting some of the best and brightest Latino MMA fighters around in Ventura. And just like that, well, I don't know if Williams got a little too jacked up in round number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Emilio Williams. He slipped in the jaula and came out guns blazing.
A little too amped up.
Yeah, so Hakop is wearing the Hayabusa blue and black shorts that are Ballet Tudo style, and Emilio Williams is wearing the black and white, or black and blue Hayabusa shorts that are more tight to the skin.
And Hakop, if you're wondering, the name, the first name, the last name, Armenian, of Armenian descent.
Absolutely, he trains with Gokor, an extremely, very well, big, huge name in the MMA world.
A minute in round number 1, slated for 3, as we mentioned, catch weight 180, Williams 2-1. 2 wins coming both by knockout. If you look at his last win, it was against Garrett Marks. And as far as Hakop, he also had a very solid win, TKO over George Hernandez at Combate 8.
His guard is wide open, Emilio's, and Hakop is got a beautiful takedown with those double underhooks. My favorite takedown with those double underhooks. And he's trying to let it rain, but Emilio kicks him off, and he's trying to find a way back to his feet. Nice wheel kick by Hakop, who's had many MMA fight or many Muay Thai fights. That's how he started off in mixed martial arts. He loves to stand. Oh, geez. That was a big, massive uppercut. A nice big knee, too. He's got the reach on Emilio Williams. He's 3 inches shorter in length, Emilio Williams, so.
I did like the composure, though, with Williams. Even when he got staggered, he let his arms go. Now, the problem, again, you mentioned the height difference. You're seeing those knees starting to work, and he's really starting to tenderize the meat a little bit.
Yeah, those are some big, huge knees. And he's trying to go for the takedown. Emilio's got his own knees, but nice, beautiful back trip by Emilio. He's looking for the full mount, gets into half guard. He can pass there because Emilio's guard is just wide open.
And Juliana, this is not what Hakop wanted. His game plan was, I have to keep the fight upright. I can't get down on the ground.
Yeah, he wants to stand and bang. You can tell by those knees coming in, ouch, that he wants to just stand and bang. And he said, "Come get me."
And it's you see that Muay Thai style as well.
Massive Muay Thai style. Those knees that he has are just amazing. Those body punches, though, are not going to do much, you know. Big, huge knees again.
Wow. Oh, that might be it. Oh, my goodness mercy, via the knee.
Yeah, 22-year-old Hakop Ter-Petrosyan.
Wow.
Stops Emilio Williams in the first round with knees to the body.
Oh, and he is hurt, too. He might have broke a rib. Now, I don't think those knees were low. I thought they were right in the gut.
Yeah, he looks like he's holding his cup there. I didn't see them that landed in the belly.
I didn't. If that's the case, it was missed. It was missed by Trigg, but I didn't see it. I mean, that was as fast as an explosive finish, and that's the thing, Hakop. It's explosive as we take a look at the action. Here's the uppercut, caught Williams. He goes back a little bit, he's stung. Still understanding his whereabouts. Now watch the knees.
Oh yeah.
Now that's a solid knee.
All of them were, yep. Here comes another, let's see. Nope, not there.
Wasn't clean.
That one was right in the breadbasket.
And he starts to bring that head down.
Emilio was wasting his time with those punches to the body. You know, you can't let this guy control your head position like that. This guy's yanking down on your head, and he's making you lose your own posture, and he's implementing his own game plan. You can't do that. You can't let somebody control your head position.
Well, you know what? It actually was ruled. It was ruled a low knee. Now I think that's borderline, but it wasn't a stoppage.
No, excuse me.
So they gave him time. They gave him the mandatory rest. Yes.
Those are not low blows. Those were complete fine. Those were why. I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt his, lower body area, but I'm just trying to simply say that those knees were legal, and the fact that they're going to try to continue this fight is confusing.
I thought
to
the
me.
reaction was a stoppage and he couldn't go on. I thought it was a
100%.
TKO.
100%.
Now again, if we take a look at this from a different angle in the replay, you know,
that was straight
that was right
legal.
in the gut, right in the liver, and that one was blocked.
That was blocked on his hands. What the heck? The guy just didn't want anymore. He quit. Now he holds his nuts on it.
If I'm Hakop right now, I would go, and that's the thing. Now you're amped up and you're juiced and you're jacked up. He's going to get the required amount of time to regroup. But I think this more is, I don't want to. It's almost borderline stalling because he's got to regroup and he's got to buy time. Now if you're Hakop, you can see he's very frustrated. You can see he's frustrated, the frustration all on his face because he realizes he had his opponent done. He was dead. He was stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. That fight was over, so I don't really know what the heck is going on.
And it seems like his corner was taking exception as well. But hey, at the end of the day, Emilio Williams is allotted X amount of minutes to just gather himself. He's hurt. Now the question is, can he go on? If he goes on, then it's fair game.
I mean, if he goes on, that'll be a good testament of his heart. He's at 3 minutes right now. Doesn't really seem like he wanted none.
But I think also you have to watch as we take, I thought we were going to take a look in a moment, you also have to watch Frank Trigg, the referee, if he gets himself in trouble again. You see, look, clean left knee. Blocked his glove. It blocked his glove.
It was blocked.
It blocked his glove. Now, absolutely, it blocked his glove. Absolutely, it blocked his glove. And I think that's a perfect example where maybe your will was broken early on.
He's like, all right, no problem. You guys want me to keep going, then we can do this. And this guy's like, nah, I can't do it. Yeah, this is too much.
You know, it's tough because you can speak more to this than I can. You want to give the benefit to the fighter. If he got caught low, he got caught low. We're not suggesting that he's dogging it and he doesn't want to continue to fight, but those were very questionable shots. I think it was more of let me buy some time and regroup.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, like you said, we as spectators cannot feel what this kid is obviously feeling. So we can't say, you know, whether or not it was like a true low blow and that his you know, down there area is really in pain. But if it is, then I say then pull the fight off. It's over, man.
That's it.
It's over.
That's it. They gave me a lot of time. And I think ultimately, I kind of think there's a bit of karma in that.
Absolutely.
And you almost get the sense that if Hakop was going to stick to the game plan, he was going to pull out the stoppage. Have you ever been in a situation like that where your opponent was allowed it?
It's like first round. That's how it goes.
No.
Let's see.
You know, I'm too nice in there sometimes. I've had times where I've had my elbow stuck in a girl's bra, and you know, she has a look of panic in her eyes, and I'm like, don't worry, I'll get it out, you know, and then I get it out, and then I get into trouble for doing that. So you really have to be careful about what you're doing in the octagon. You know, if the ref doesn't see it, that's the ref's fault. That's not your fault. Your job is to go in there and kill and murder the guy. So.
And you can hear him questioning that second knee, and Frank Trigg, the referee, was saying, no, that was low. That's what I saw. Now we saw a different vantage point, but the bottom line is, this young man comes in, and one of his MO, his strengths, is explosiveness, and we saw it.
Yeah, and I heard them saying that they're going to make it a no contest, but you can't make that a no contest. That guy won fair and square.
Of course he did. He dominated the fight.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely dominated the fight. And typically, you know, it's unfortunate. You would like to score the fight leading up to that, but we'll get the official decision on this one back inside to Pablo Flores.
And ladies and gentlemen, due to an accidental knee to the groin, this bout comes to an end at 2 minutes 58 seconds in round number 1. Por un golpe accidental a las partes nobles, este combate se detiene con un tiempo de 2 minutos 58 segundos en el primer round. This bout has been declared as a no contest. Este combate es declarado sin decisión.
Joseph Henle coming up. Joseph Henle taking on Joe Vidales. That'll be slated for 3 rounds, Middleweights, 185, so you know they're going to let their hands go in that one.
Joe Vidales is a big, huge fighter. Joseph Henle is a MMA veteran. This guy's fought the who's who of everybody. He's fought many times for many years, and he loves to fight.
All right, back inside La Hula to Pablo Flores with the official introductions.
Making his way to La Jaula in the blue corner, Joseph Exodus Vidales. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is set for 3 rounds of MMA action. And now to La Jaula in the red corner, Joseph Henle.
All right, Juliana, walk us through the tail of the tape.
Numbers that jump out at me is Joseph Henle has a lot more experience than Joe Vidales. He's 1 year older, and he is 2 inches taller. So maybe his reach with his hands will be able to help him in this fight, because Joe is a big kid.
All right, for the official introductions, back inside La Jaula to our ring announcer, Pablo Flores.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for 3 rounds of MMA action in the Combate Americas middleweight division. 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en la división de peso medio. Your 3 judges scoring, sus 3 jueces, Chris Cale, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Jean LaBelle. And your 3rd man inside la jaula, el tercero en la superficie de la jaula, Michael Bell. Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing gray trunks with black and red. His official weight 185 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo color gris con negro y rojo, con un peso de 185 libras. He stands professionally with 3 victories against 1 lone defeat. Presenta un récord de 3 victorias por una derrota. Representing Sacramento, California, Joseph Exodus Vidales. And his opponent across La Jaula, standing in the red corner, wearing black trunks with red and white. His official weight 185.5 pounds. Y su oponente en la esquina roja de la jaula, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con rojo y blanco, con un peso de 185.5 libras. As a professional, he stands with 9 victories against 2 losses. Presenta un récord de 9 victorias por 2 derrotas. Representing Lompoc, California, Joseph Henle. Y para dar las instrucciones finales, aquí está. To give out your final instructions, here is Michael Bell.
Come over here, brother. Right here. Right here, right, brother. All right, guys, you got your instructions backstage. Defend yourself at all times, obey my commands all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Back to your corners.
All right, so it'll be Vidales against Henle, and it's interesting, you got 2 big boys in there, middleweights 185, overseeing the action, Mike Bell. We spoke to Joseph Henle in the black trunks, and of course Vidales, you'll see his hair in the ponytail. These 2 come in great fighting shape, and I just, again, you got that feeling, Juliana, that if you blink, you're going to miss something.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that Joe Vidales has real big, heavy hands, but I also know that Joseph Henle is a big-time vet, and that he is going in there with the means to go have some fun. That's what he wants to do. He wants to have fun. He loves to fight MMA, and he does it for fun.
Yeah, he was very engaging during the fighter meetings, where Vidales, again, a little more subdued approach, but also has that boxing background, 2009 NorCali Golden Gloves champ, heavyweight.
Definitely, both of these guys have outstanding stand-up.
Big guys, just really big.
Huge. Actually, Joseph Henle was a 270 pounds at one point and got into MMA to lose weight because he just didn't want to lift weights, and he wanted something fun to do. So he used to be a big, huge linebacker.
And he finally got a full training camp in too, because he was dealing with some delays, some issues, some injuries as well.
Exactly. Joseph Vidales is trying to lock in a guillotine, but he definitely doesn't have it. And Joseph Henle on top in the black shorts could potentially choke him with a phantom choke.
Wow.
Just like I said, phantom choke.
Wow. Well, we knew the fight was going to end with fireworks, and Mr. Engaging himself took up half our fighter meetings the other day talking with us. He could have went non-stop, and he made this one quickly.
Oh, yes. Joseph sat there talking about his profession that he does on the side, which I still am not clearly understanding. But he's proud of what he does. He's great at what he does. He volunteers as a boxing instructor on his spare time. And he just loves to fight because it's so fun to him. And I love to see that. I love to see guys that are really great going in there and doing what they love.
He's just one of those guys you want to cheer for. You don't want to cheer for. You want to root for.
Nice big leg kick. He's going to go in for a single leg. Flares him with the takedown. And notice how he uses that left shoulder pressure that is actually a reverse choke. So Joseph on bottom is looking like he's got a guillotine, and Joseph Henle on top has got his own phantom choke right there. Or that's what it's called. It's called the phantom choke. It's a ghost choke. It's also called the Von Flue choke.
You saw the pressure too.
Absolutely. When somebody has a guillotine on you, that is the exact reversal to get them to choke. And he can actually put them to sleep there. That's why it's called the phantom choke, because you don't see it coming, and then you're sleeping.
That was a heck of a move.
It's beautiful.
That was a heck of a move. I mean, I thought coming in we were going to see some fireworks, and that was just really just technically sound. That Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, black belt in Taekwondo. He's a very technically and sound fighter, and we saw you didn't blink, not even 35, 40 seconds in. We'll wait to get the official time of the stoppage, but wow, that's an impressive win. He'll improve to 10-2-1, and Vidales will fall to 3-2. Back upstairs to Pablo Flores to make this one official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official time of 1 minute 15 seconds in the very first round. Tenemos el tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 15 segundos en el primer asalto. Declarando al ganador por la vía de la sumisión. Declaring your winner by the way of submission due to a Von Flu choke. From Lompoc, California, Jospeh Henle.
So very, very impressive victory, albeit a short one. But listen, at the end of the day, those are the type of wins that can kind of propel you and maybe get you back to the big show, get you back up there with the big boys. But no matter what, we're going to see him again going forward. So that's a huge win for Jospeh Henle. All right, coming up next, our next fight will be, it should be another good one, contested at 140 pounds. Ryan Lilley taking on Ralph Acosta.
Yes, this would be a great fight. Ryan Lilley fighting at a Boss Rutan's gym. Ralph Acosta is his own gym owner and is fighting at an Apex MMA.
And making his way to La Jaula in the red corner, Ryan the Lion Lilley.
Let him do a tug of handshake.
right, Juliana, let's take a look at the tail of the tape between Ryan Lilley and Ralph Acosta.
Ryan Lilley has a 2-inch reach advantage, and he's also 9 years younger than Ralph Acosta. Ralph Acosta, if you can look at his record, 15-12 is the number that jumps out at me. He's got quite the fight experience.
All right, back up top to our...
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is set for 3 rounds of MMA action in the Combate Americas catch weight of 140 pounds. 3 rounds de combate en un peso pactado de 140 libras. Your 3 judges scoring, sus 3 jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Jean LaBelle. And your 3rd man inside la jaula, el tercero en la superficie de la jaula, Frank Trigg. Introducing your first 2 fighters, standing in the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red and white trim. His official weight 137.7 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con rojo y blanco, con un peso oficial de 137.7 libras. As a professional, he stands with 15 victories against 12 losses. Presenta un récord de 15 victorias por 12 derrotas. Hailing out of Riverside, California, Ralph the Spider Monkey Acosta. And his opponent across la jaula in the red corner, wearing black trunks with green, white, and red. His official weight 140.8 pounds. Y su rival dentro de la jaula en la esquina roja, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con blanco, verde y rojo, con un peso de 140.8 libras. Professionally, he stands with 5 victories against 1 lone defeat. Presenta un récord de 5 victorias por 1 derrota. Representing Thousand Oaks and Ventura, California, USA, Ryan the Lion Lilley. Y para dar las instrucciones finales, to give out the final instructions, here is Frank Trigg.
You got your instructions in the locker rooms. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions? Want to touch gloves? Do it now. Come out swinging.
All right, it'll be Lilley taking on Acosta. Acosta, black and red trunks, 15-12, a lot of experience. And then you look at the younger fighter, Ryan Lilley, in the black and green. And again, he's only had a handful of fights, 5-1 though, 6 pro fights. But Juliana, he said he didn't want to make this fight a fight to the ground. He wants to keep it upright and give the fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, absolutely. Ralph said that he was going to make sure that this fight was a fight that the fans wanted to see. He claimed that it was going to be fight of the night. And, you know, he's got a big, huge bolster as far as wrestling goes. He wrestled all through high school and won a state championship. And he then parlayed that into a scholarship at Upper Iowa University. As a 4-year starter, he reached the rank of #1 in the nation at 133 pounds and became a 2-time All-American and 3-time national qualifier. So he's a massively good wrestler. He's a gym owner, and he loves to fight.
Yeah, Upper Iowa, as you mentioned, D2, a very solid school. I mean, anytime you have wrestlers in Iowa, you're talking wrestling out of Iowa. You know that they're going to come and they're going to be very crafty and well-skilled as well. And he wants to take it his opponent this evening, which would be Ryan Lilley. He wants to take him in the deep waters.
Again, this is a chance for a Von Flue choke. If he can use his left shoulder pressure into Ryan's chin there, he can potentially get his own ghost choke, phantom choke, Von Flue choke. But instead, he beats to the body. He's completely fine in this guillotine. He's at no position of getting a choke. And it lands him into full mount.
Early stages, this opening round slated for 3, catch rate 140. Spirited crowd this evening.
Nice job by Ryan Lilley. He got out of the full mount and gave up his back in the process. And Ralph Acosta is going to be trying to rain down some heavy punches until he can slip underneath the neck and sink into a rear naked choke.
Well, the one thing about Acosta, he's going to leave it all in the ring. You look at his last fight, unanimous decision loss to Alex Perez. But he believes that he is a, quote, well-traveled fighter. Some people call him experienced, well-traveled, journeyman, but he believes that experience will take him through this evening and perhaps get him a W.
He's got a winning record, though, 16 fights and 12 losses. He's an experienced vet for sure, to say the least. And this is Ryan's second fight with Combate Americas. He's looking for a win under the promotion.
Which would be a big win on his resume, going against a fighter that's had 28 fights.
Absolutely. He needs to break that figure 4 triangle and get his back and shoulder blades to the mat, though. His corner said, start making a plan to get that way back to the top. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it. You need to understand the technique. That's a choke and it's done.
Wow.
That's it.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's what happens, right? Does it not happen? You
Totally
turn
does.
around and you see experience, triumphs.
The spider monkey.
Yeah, that's exactly. If anyone wanted the definition, there it was.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You know, you can't just have a plan to get back to the top. You have to understand and execute the technique to get back to the top. And unfortunately, that didn't play out in Ryan Lilley's favor. I love the guy. I think he's an outstanding person, but I think that he needs to work more on his ground skills.
Rear naked choke.
All right, walk us through.
Rear naked choke.
All right, he's got the rear naked choke. He's got the figure 4. He stretches his hamstrings out, and Ryan is completely dead under the water with the rear naked choke completely sunken underneath his neck.
Did he know he was done as soon as he got in that position? Because you saw, again, the demeanor when he tapped out.
For sure, yeah. You knew that it was already sunk in by how deep his left hand was underneath his chin. Absolutely. It was
You
over.
see how he'll drop his head as
Yeah.
if.
That's all she wrote, folks.
That's a very, very impressive win for the veteran Ralph Acosta, home proved to
17 and 12.
17 and 12, 29 pro fights. Lilley will fall to 5 and 2. It was fast, it was furious. A lot of fights have been like that this evening. You blink, you're gonna miss something.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful ref stoppage by Frank Trigg. And a great win for Ralph Acosta.
All right, we'll make it official. Back upstairs to Pablo Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end officially at 2 minutes 51 seconds in the very first round. Tenemos el tiempo oficial de 2 minutos 51 segundos en el primer asalto. Declaring your winner by the way of submission due to a rear naked choke. Su ganador por la vía de la sumisión por un mataleón. From Riverside, California, Ralph the Spider Monkey Acosta.
Thumbs up for me. Thumbs up for me.
And making his way to La Jaula in the red corner, Michael Malicious Reyes.
and relaxed, nice and focused. All that energy goes to a positive place.
Tape between Michael Reyes and Benji Gomez.
All right, we got Michael Reyes is 1 year younger, and he also has, and Benji Gomez has a 2-inch reach advantage. He also weighed in 1 pound heavier. And Benji Gomez got lots of experience, 6-6 record.
All right, it'll be contested at 125. We'll go back up top for the final time this evening to pop up Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is set for 3 rounds of MMA action in the Combate Américas Flyweight Division. 3 rounds de artes marciales mixtas en la división de peso mosca. Your 3 judges scoring, sus 3 jueces, Chris Crail, Ron McCarthy, and Judo Jean LaBelle. And your 3rd man inside la jaula, el tercero en la superficie de la jaula, Michael Bell. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing gray solid trunks. His official weight, 126 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo calzoncillo color gris, con un peso oficial de 126 libras. As a professional, he stands with 6 victories against 6 losses. Presenta un récord de 6 victorias por 6 derrotas. Hailing out of Ventura, California, Benji, the Brawler Gomez. And his opponent across La Jaula in the red corner, wearing red trunks with gray and black. His official weight, 124.7 pounds. Y su rival en la jaula, en la esquina roja, vistiendo el calzoncillo rojo con gris y negro, con un peso de 124.7 libras. As a professional, he stands with 2 victories against 3 losses. Presenta un récord de 2 victorias por 3 derrotas. Hailing out of Oxnard, California, Michael Malicious Reyes. Para dar las instrucciones finales, to give out the final instructions, here is Michael Bell.
All right, gentlemen, you got your instructions backstage. Defend yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. You want to touch gloves, do it now. Or not.
All right, so it'll be flyweights. Reyes taking on Gomez. Reyes in the red and gray trunks. Gomez in the solid gray trunks.
First round, you ready, Benji?
Some bad blood there. They didn't want to touch gloves. These guys used to be former training partners. When Michael Reyes left the gym because he said that his coach didn't want to evolve as a coach. So there's a lot of bad blood. We got Michael Reyes in the southpaw position with the red Hayabusa trunks, and Benji Gomez, the lankier, longer fighter in the blue trunks, also in a southpaw position. Southpaw versus southpaw.
Yep, might be a clash of heads, or we'll see if one of them decides to switch up eventually to orthodox. Reyes right off the bat catching that leg and trying to come back with that right. Nothing doing, says Gomez.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys don't like each other. Like I said prior, Benji says, I know everything that this kid does, and nothing that he does is going to surprise me. I've been training with him. I know exactly how he fights, and there's nothing that he's going to do that's going to surprise me.
Which it's funny because you would think, with that being said, maybe there is something that Reyes added to the repertoire, maybe something he did a little different during training camp just to offset what Gomez said. Because you're right. I mean, listen, there are times when you can surprise your opponent and you give him a little bag of tricks that he hasn't seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Ooh, got caught right there, though.
And I think that that's also going to play a part in Benji's head, you know. This kid that he used to tool up in the gym, and Benji said, I used to beat him in the gym and he would cry, and he wasn't the star. He wasn't the main, you know, fighter that everyone was looking after. No one kissed his ass, and so that's why he left, because he couldn't handle getting beat. And no one was paying attention to him the way he wanted people to pay attention to him. So he left to find other avenues, and it looks so far to be successful in making the right decision, as he's caught Benji clean a couple of times.
And that's the thing, two southpaws going against each other, you got to be careful to roll to your, actually to your right, you're going to get caught with the left. So you have both these guys rolling in different directions, one of them are going to get caught. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along this fight, one of them went back to traditional.
Yeah, and Benji says this guy, he has like these little fakes and these little things that he's telegraphing, that he shows that he does, the things that he hasn't been able to or will be able to break as a fighter, because that's just the way that he fights. And he says he's ready for all of that. He's ready for everything that this kid throws his way.
Reyes coming off a split decision loss to Kyle Estrada at CXF6, and as far as a game, Gomez in Combate 11, split decision loss to Alberto Tapia.
Yeah, Reyes is very well composed in there. He wants to implement his own game plan and knock Benji out if he can. He asked for this fight, and he wants to improve in all areas of his fighting skills. So he wants to knock Benji out and make his big, huge statement. He's also looking forward to getting that win bonus money of $1,000 if he finishes his opponent.
And he's been throwing that left hand too. That's one of his signature. You saw it right there. That's one of his signature punches. He's got that mentality in there to let it go and throw. If you're Gomez, though, you want to counter. You want to start countering with those 1-2s as well. Yeah. Both of them swinging for the fences.
Michael says that he wants to stalk him until he keeps coming forward, and that he's going to catch him with something, and then Benji's going to have no choice but to retreat.
And they've kept to their game plan. Both of these fighters respectively said they want to come out and let their hands go, and that's exactly what they've done. Late stages, round number 1, slated for 3 at 125 flyweights.
Slated for 3, and I bet we'll go all 3 at this rate. Nice inside leg kick by Benji. Gomez trying to distract him. I'd like to see him follow it up, however.
And good counter outside leg kick by Reyes.
Nice straight right by Benji Gomez over the top. Hits him clean.
And that's the fear you have to worry about too, because when he comes with that over-the-top right, even though they're both southpaws, Reyes' game hand is his left. The problem is once he drops his guard on his right-hand side to throw that left, you have a counter right there. So Absolutely. He could be susceptible to getting hit.
Absolutely, and the thing is that Benji always gets better and better as the fight goes on. I've seen him fight now several times, and this guy's always in these slugger fest fights, and I always see him just get tougher and tougher as the fight goes on.
Tough round 1 to score.
Absolutely. The crowd is cheering. You can't quite make out what they're saying. Nice double leg attempt by Benji. Nice front head draw. Michael Reyes says his favorite choke is the Darce choke, and he has ran out of time, so maybe he'll be able to implement that in round 2. Benji with the wrestling.
Time! The crowd is still absolutely electric on their feet here at the historic San Miguel Hall, Ventura County Fairgrounds, Ventura, California. And of course, this is Combate Americas 14 alongside Juliana Pena. Rich Quinones calling the action. So a spirited round number 1. I'll put you on the spot. How'd you score that one?
I know that was a hard round to score because he did drop him with that big punch, but at the same time, Benji was coming forward with his own stuff. He went in for the cage aggression, tried to go in for the takedown, and was successful with that, except he ran out of time. I don't know. I would give it a tie.
You 9-9 round, that's kind of the route I was going, but I didn't want to bail you out.
No, 9-9.
Because I asked you the question.
9-9 for sure.
So you take a look at Michael Reyes' corner.
All right, seconds out.
See if he comes out swinging again. Southpaw mentality is he wants to try to come out and let that left hand go. He's been working on being more comfortable inside the cage and basically the mentality, how to calm yourself down, how to get overwhelmed by the moment. The bright lights, sometimes they shine the brightest, and sometimes fighters can't handle that.
Yeah, you know what I really liked about Michael Reyes is I asked these fighters in these fighter interviews, if you could be anything and do anything that you could be aside from fighting, what would you be and why? And he said that he would be a psychologist, and he said the mind is an amazing thing. Nicely done by Benji.
And he took advantage of that kick, and Reyes slipping a little bit.
Reyes is trying to go for his own transition here. Gets a hook in, trying to take the back of Benji Gomez. Benji Gomez is slick to the game, though. He's going to get the reversal here as soon as he can get back to his feet. Michael Reyes has been training with Benji Gomez for the last 5 years. Up until recently, he left the gym. He wasn't evolving his game with his coach and said that he wanted his coach to evolve his game.
How does that affect your mentality when you're going against possibly a friend, a former teammate? You're so familiar on so many levels. You both know each other. You think maybe you know a little too much, or maybe you could get caught off guard. Does your mentality change as a fighter?
Well, that's what I was saying about Michael Reyes. He said that he would like to be a psychologist because the mind is such a powerful, powerful thing, and he thinks that it's interesting to be able to study the mind and be able to understand how complex it truly, truly is. I think mentality is a big thing that plays a part in this thing, and when you're going up against a former teammate, you don't obviously take the fight without knowing that you're going to, without a doubt, win. So I think that he took this fight, asked for this fight because he was mad, he was pissed off, and he wanted to show that he was right in leaving the gym and that that was the best decision that he could have made for himself. And after all, this is an individual sport, and you got to do what's best for you as a fighter at the end of the day.
Which drives many fighters, that innate ability to go out and the fight day in and day out, and in this situation, perhaps bragging rights have the last word.
Absolutely. Maybe they can be friends after this, but in the most, what I'm seeing right now is just Michael Reyes smothering Benji Gomez as Benji Gomez is struggling to get to his feet and struggling to turn into him.
He's laboring, Reyes taking advantage with some haymakers, working the body a little bit and raining them down on top of the head as well.
Nice job by Michael Reyes, who's trying to control his opponent. He's trying to go in for a rear naked choke, but it's too high.
It's almost like Gomez doesn't know whether to cover up or try to get back to his feet.
Yeah, exactly. I would work on getting back to my feet. I wouldn't worry too much about the rabbit punches. I would work to get back to my feet and work on my transition so that I can reverse the position.
And try to salvage the round.
Absolutely. There's a deeper naked choke in there for Michael Reyes. I believe that's under the chin. Let me see.
And Reyes got the hooks in. He's got the hooks in. Mike Bell watching the action.
Unless he breaks his chin, but Benji's smart. He's going to hand fight. And even then, it's not completely underneath that chin there. The crowd's going crazy. Michael Reyes with that back control, using those hooks very well.
Midway through, second of three.
That's deeper, that's deeper, that's deep. That's
now
deep.
He's got his neck pulled back. He's got the hooks, and then Reyes looking for the tap out. Mike Bell watching it.
Oh man, he let him pull his wrist off like a... Oh, I can't believe he let him pull that wrist off. Front head drop position for Michael Reyes, and Benji goes in for the double leg, trying to get the reversal, looking to step over that leg so that he can get that reversal. There you go, step over that leg, get your single leg step over, hit your reversal. There's the reversal, yeah! Oh, no. Oh, nice, lands him into side control, quickly takes the back.
Oh,
Benji
turn of
Gomez.
events there now by Gomez, has Reyes where he doesn't want to be, with under a minute to go.
A little over 30 seconds left in round two. Again, Michael Reyes in the red trunks controlled the very second half of the fight.
Gomez left for dead a couple moments ago.
Absolutely. And now, with the turn of events, Benji Gomez has the back and is trying to implement his own rear naked choke and show Michael Reyes how it's done and how the older brother gets it done.
Great round number 2, the ebb and flow of a round. 1 minute you think one opponent has it, the next you think another person has it. It's Reyes, it's Gomez, it's Gomez, it's Reyes, and now it's back to Gomez.
It's not underneath the chin. Reyes is fine, but it is getting deep, and Reyes is going to pop his head out. He definitely needs to keep hand fighting.
Can Reyes make it out of round number 2? He's slippery, he's slick, he's going to try to get on his feet. Will the bell save him? And it does. He'll live to fight another day.
Saved by the bell.
The crowd appreciative of the effort. Question is, they got to remind these two, there's one more round to go.
Right. Let's take a look at this replay here, Rich. Nice head kick that landed clean for him, and it stuffed Benji and got him to get the takedown. Here's a rear naked choke trying to be applied by Michael Reyes. And it's not completely underneath the chin, and Benji's smart. He's doing a lot of hand fighting in order for him to survive that. Goes in for his own single leg step over, finally gets the reversals, takes Michael Reyes' back and slips in his own rear naked
And
choke.
Gomez looks spent. I mean, both of them exerted a lot of energy, not only because you're moving around, you're on the ground, but especially when your opponent's on top of you and you're trying to maneuver. That just takes a lot out of you.
Absolutely, I agree.
Come here.
Referee calling these guys to the center of the
First final
house.
round, gentlemen. Leave it all over here, okay? Touch gloves if you want.
Now they finally touch gloves and pay each other a little bit of respect. I like it.
Third round, you ready, Benji?
Third and final round. We'll see how it plays out. Reyes, Gomez, 125. Reyes in the red trunks, Gomez in the gray. As Juliana pointed out brilliantly, there's such familiarity between these two, and both of them are gassed, they are winded, but this is when the ticker takes over. Late in a fight, Gomez just he's stagnant already. He looks like
Benji looks like
decide.
he's sucking hind tit. He looks exhausted. His Wheaties are gone.
Reyes
and
raining down some
Reyes
haymakers.
is gonna beat him like a red-headed stepchild. He's got a choke in there too. No, that's like a almost guillotine, but not really. Benji needs to get back to his feet and hit a reversal, but Reyes, like I said, wants to just beat him and punish him. That's
Now
a deep
he's
rear
got
naked
him. Now
choke.
he's got the-
It's a
now
nice
he's
short
got the
choke
hooks in him.
attempt. Nice short choke attempt. That's not clean yet, but I'll beat it out of you until you give it to me, Benji.
Raining down some haymakers now. Benji Gomez in serious trouble. Minute in round number 3. Mike Bell watching the action closely.
There it is. That's deep as hell. That's
that
over.
might be it.
It's
You
over.
might say goodnight now.
It's over.
You might say goodnight, Bell. Watching for the top. There it is. Oh my goodness. Vaya con Dios. What a win by Reyes. Bragging rights.
Totally. Bragging rights times a million. That's got to feel good, you know what I mean? You left your gym. You said, my coach doesn't want to evolve with me. This guy's not giving me the attention I deserve. I need better coaching. I need the coach to want to evolve as I evolve as a fighter. This guy refused, and he made the right decision. Let's take a look at the replay here. Beating him, beating him, beating him. Hiya. Boom, sinks in that rear naked choke. It's underneath the chin, it's deep. Sunk it in like he had it, and Benji had no option but to tap.
That's a great fight because there was such ebb and flow in that fight. It was back and forth. It was tough to judge. The first couple rounds, they were gassed. You saw the hard takeover in round number 3, but that's certainly, I look at that fight as who wanted it more, who saw the opportunity, who took advantage of it. In this case, it was Reyes over his old counterpart, Benji Gomez.
Absolutely. And to Benji Gomez's credit, the guy who came into the fighter interview carrying a massive car seat with a sleeping baby girl in it. He takes care of his kid 50-60% of the time. He's a single father, and he's working full-time, training full-time, being a dad full-time. You know, it's a tough gig out there. And
ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end officially at 1 minute and 9 seconds in round number 3. Tenemos el tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 9 segundos en el round número 3. Declaring your winner by the way of submission due to a rear naked choke. Su ganador por la vía de la sumisión por un mataleón from Oxnard, California, USA, Michael Malicious Reyes.
So a nice win by Michael Reyes. He'll improve to 3-3. Gomez will fall to 6-7. What a wonderful night. Great venue. San Miguel Hall in Ventura County Fairgrounds, Ventura, California. What did you take away from the action this evening?
Oh, it was a stacked card. Every single fight was amazing. A lot of finishes, great matchups. They were very evenly matched. I loved this fight card.
We saw some great stoppages and a great fight. So for Juliana Pena, I'm Rich Quinones. Thanks for joining us for Combate Americas 14. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
California.